It's Will. It's Adventures in Anime. And today I'm going to be talking about ADIEU Galaxy Express 999. The first thing that I have to say about this is that I found this on, I think it was on Prime, and it was described as like a classic anime. It's from 1981. I was like, cool, old school anime, sci-fi, it looks right up my alley, I'm just going to watch it. In the description of the movie, it did not announce that it's a sequel, and that the thing it's a sequel to is based on a TV series, which is based on a manga. So there's like hundreds of minutes and hundreds of pages of material that existed before this movie existed. And I started watching it and I was like, what the hell is going on? So I actually had to go and read a synopsis of like the previous movie and some of the manga and stuff to kind of catch myself up, because I didn't want to stop watching it. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm going to keep going with this, but I have no idea what's happening right now. So this was directed by Rintaro, who directed Metropolis, which is the anime, I think that's an anime remake of the Fritz Lang, the German expressionist film Metropolis. This has just a huge world, which obviously would make sense if it's based on all this previous material, right? And it's about this kid who's a teenager who's fighting for a resistance. There's these, so the kind of the overview of the universe is humans have figured out how to put their consciousness into a machine, and the machine can then live forever. And people who are resistant to this idea and believe that human life should be temporal, maybe that's the wrong word, should be fleeting, should be time-bound, should begin and should end, and that's where the beauty of life comes from, are fighting against these machine people to take back the universe. And so there's this kid who's a resistance fighter, and he gets a message from this woman that he knows from previous installments of this thing, being like, you got to get on the Galaxy Express 999, and, you know, some adventure awaits you. And the Galaxy Express 999 is a train, and this is one of the things that's totally insane about this show. These are like steam trains that fly through space, and when they get to like cities, there's like a giant train track that comes up into the sky, and they land on it and then pull into a train station. And it's like totally nuts. And like, to think of like, oh, let's make a sci-fi, but instead of having a spaceship, let's do steam trains. It's just that kind of imagination is what I'm really appreciating about anime. So it's just like weird, and it's good, totally unorthodox, and it's also something that I think would be really hard to get away with in live action, especially in 1981. So this is just this big adventure. This kid gets on the train. He meets up with this woman. There's these people called the Promethean, who are like these evil kind of like people who are lording over the universe, and they're connected to the robot people. And there's this sense of, and again, the world is huge, and I love like kind of like sci-fi, cyberpunk, adventure worlds like that, and stuff like Lord of the Rings and whatever. So that was really cool and really appealing to me. It's just, and this is an enormous movie. Like this movie ends with one of the most insane sequences I think I've probably ever seen, especially in an animated movie, where people are fighting. If I remember correctly, people are fighting on top of a flying train as a giant, like, galactic witch is destroying a planet with like this enormous howling shriek. So it's completely bananas. And there's a plot twist in here that I really, really loved that comes in the third act that kind of reminded me of the Wachowskis. It was reminiscent of both The Matrix and Jupiter Ascending, and then also Cloud Atlas, actually. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's really dark. And it was really... this is not a dark movie. Like, this seems like it's for kids, like middle school age kids, whatever, 10 through like 13 or so. It's not like an adult anime. It gets really dark, and I really appreciated that. I thought it was a really interesting twist, and it kind of undermines a lot of what you've seen before that. Because I think it's for younger kids, it's not... I didn't love it in the sense that, like, I'm going to tell everyone to go see it and I want to watch it again. I appreciated it for what it is, but it's not, like, one of my favorite animes I've ever seen. But it kind of reminded me of, like, animated adventures from the 70s and 80s. So, like, the Hobbit movie. Were there Lord of the Rings? There was a Lord of the Rings movie, too, right? Like, an animated one. And, like, that kind of stuff from that era. So, ADIEU Galaxy Express 999 is the name of this movie. And it's a fun, crazy space adventure. It's worth checking out if you're into those things. My name has been Will. This has been Adventures in Anime. Believe it or not, my name will continue to be Will. And we will see you next time.